The Discovery. Commander Sarah Reeves stood at the observation deck of the International Space Station, her eyes fixed on what most considered humanity's greatest embarrassment, the ever-expanding cloud of space debris surrounding Earth. After 20 years in space programs, she should have been desensitized to the sight, but something about today felt different. The quantum scanner she developed hummed softly beside her, its holographic display painting patterns she'd never seen before. "Dr. Morrison, are you seeing these readings?" she called out, her voice tense with excitement. "Impossible," Morrison replied through the comm. "The molecular structure shouldn't be." "Wait, run it again." Sarah adjusted the scanner's parameters, watching as the debris field lit up with new possibilities. For months, her team had been researching ways to recycle space junk, but this was unprecedented. The quantum scanner revealed that the harsh conditions of space had altered the molecular bonds of the debris in ways they'd never imagined. "The radiation exposure," she whispered. "It's not degrading the materials, it's strengthening them." Before she could process the implications, the station's proximity alerts blared to life. "Unidentified object approaching, bearing 340, announced the automated system. Sarah rushed to the main console, her discovery momentarily forgotten. The object moved like nothing she'd ever seen, defying known physics as it decelerated from near-light speed. Its surface seemed to absorb all light, making it almost invisible against the backdrop of space. Only their most sensitive instruments could track its presence. "All personnel to emergency stations," Sarah ordered, her military training taking over. "This is not a drill." As the crew scrambled to their positions, the object settled into a geosynchronous orbit exactly 100 kilometers from the station. For several tense minutes, nothing happened. Then, a transmission broke through on all frequencies, its signal unlike anything in human experience. The message was brief but clear. "Your species has reached a crucial milestone. The test begins now." Before anyone could respond, the object vanished, leaving behind only a small device floating in space. Initial scans showed it contained vast amounts of data, technical specifications, scientific formulas, and what appeared to be a warning. Sarah's quantum scanner suddenly began correlating patterns between the alien data and her earlier discoveries about the debris field. "My God," she breathed, realizing the implications. "They're not just random changes to the molecular structure. The debris, it's been preparing itself, evolving." The warning from the alien device became clear. Humanity wasn't alone in the galaxy, and not all species were friendly. Earth had 5 years before the arrival of a force that had destroyed countless civilizations before. Their only hope lay in the very thing humanity had considered its greatest shame, the vast field of space debris surrounding their planet. Over the next few days, as Sarah's team decoded more of the alien data, they discovered that the debris field's evolution wasn't natural. The first alien visitor, the one who'd left the warning, had been secretly preparing humanity's best chance at survival. The space junk that had accumulated over decades could be transformed into something unprecedented, a fleet of warships with capabilities beyond anything humans had dreamed possible. But the process required technology humanity didn't yet possess, radical new ways of thinking, and most importantly, global cooperation on a scale never before achieved. As Sarah prepared to present her findings to the United Nations Security Council, she realized that the greatest challenge wouldn't be the technology or even the looming alien threat. The real test would be whether humanity could overcome its own divisions in time to face what was coming. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began her presentation, the quantum scanner's holographic display showing the transformed debris field. "What you're looking at isn't just humanity's greatest mistake. It's our last hope for survival." Project Phoenix. The United Nations Assembly Hall had never been so quiet. Sarah Reeves's presentation had ended 10 minutes ago, but the silence lingered as world leaders grappled with the implications. The evidence was irrefutable. Both the alien warning and the transformed debris field had been verified by every major scientific institution. Even if we believe this, the Chinese representative finally spoke. Converting our space debris into a defensive fleet in 5 years is impossible. Our greatest shipyards take longer to build a single conventional vessel. Sarah stepped forward again, her holographic display shifting to show new schematics. That's where you're wrong. The alien data includes plans for what they call molecular forges, orbital construction platforms that can reshape matter at the quantum level. With these, we can convert debris directly into hull plating, weapon systems, and engines. The next hours turned into a brutal political battle. Some nations demanded exclusive control of the technology. Others refused to participate unless all weapons development was banned. It took the Russian representative's blunt observation to break the deadlock. "We can fight over who controls this technology now," she stated, "and be united in death when the hostile force arrives. Or we can work together and maybe survive. Choose." Project Phoenix was authorized the next day. Within weeks, construction began on the first molecular forge in low Earth orbit. Sarah found herself promoted to project director, coordinating teams from 42 nations. The technology was unlike anything they'd worked with before. It didn't just recycle materials, it reformed them at their most fundamental level. The first major breakthrough came 3 months into the project. Dr. Chen, a quantum physicist from Singapore, discovered that the debris field's exposure to solar radiation had created unique molecular structures impossible to replicate on Earth. When reformed through the molecular forge, these materials were stronger than anything humanity had ever developed. But it wasn't all smooth sailing. The first test of the forge ended in disaster when an entire section of processed debris exploded, nearly breaching the station's hull. 3 weeks later, a saboteur was caught trying to upload a virus into the forge's control systems. Security footage revealed their face morphing like liquid metal, the first confirmation that hostile aliens had already infiltrated Earth. The infiltration attempt had an unexpected benefit. It united the project's fractured political backing. Faced with proof of the enemy's capabilities, even the most reluctant nations fully committed their resources. The global defense budget was redirected to Project Phoenix, and the first prototype vessel began taking shape. They called it the EDS Ragnarok, Earth Defense Ship. Unlike traditional spacecraft, its hull was comprised of self-repairing metamaterials harvested from defunct satellites. Its weapon systems, reverse-engineered from the alien data, could redirect solar energy into focused plasma beams. But its most revolutionary feature was its quantum core, a power source that utilized the same principles Sarah had first discovered in the evolved debris field. 1 year into the project, as the Ragnarok neared completion, their deadline suddenly shortened. Long-range sensors detected multiple objects decelerating from light speed at the edge of the solar system. The hostile force wasn't coming in 5 years. They were arriving now. Sarah stood in the Ragnarok's unfinished bridge, watching as teams rushed to complete the final systems. They had weeks, maybe days, before first contact. The prototype wasn't ready. The planned fleet existed only in blueprints, and humanity's greatest weapon was essentially untested. Director Reeves, her assistant, called out, "Defense Command is on the line. They're tracking multiple objects entering the Kuiper Belt. They're asking if we're ready." Sarah looked at the debris field through the bridge's viewport. For generations, humanity had treated space like a junkyard. Now that same junk was about to become either their salvation or their epitaph. "Tell them," she replied, her voice steady, "that we're about to find out." The first strike. The Ragnarok's bridge hummed with nervous energy as the alien fleet approached. Initial scans confirmed their worst fears. 23 warships, each larger than anything humanity had ever built. Their designs were organic, almost predatory, with hulls that seemed to ripple like liquid metal. Multiple contacts emerging from light speed, Lieutenant Park announced, her fingers dancing across the quantum interface. "They're taking up attack positions around Earth's orbital lanes." Sarah gripped the captain's chair, noting how the transformed debris that made up the ship's structure subtly adjusted to her touch. They'd learned that the evolved materials responded to human bioelectrical fields, creating an almost symbiotic relationship between ship and crew. "Open a channel," she ordered. "All frequencies." Before they could transmit, the alien fleet's response came in the form of a gravimetric pulse that shattered every satellite in its path. Earth's communications network went dark in seconds. The attack had begun. Ragnarok actual to all stations. Sarah's voice remained steady. "Execute Operation Lazarus." What happened next would be remembered as humanity's greatest tactical deception. As the alien fleet moved to engage, the debris field they dismissed as space junk came alive. The Ragnarok had spent weeks seeding it with converted nanomaterials, transforming the entire field into one massive weapons platform. Thousands of debris pieces suddenly ignited with energy, becoming a swarm of autonomous strike drones. The alien fleet, prepared for a conventional battle against capital ships, found themselves engulfed in a cloud of intelligent weapons that could reform and adapt to their countermeasures in real time. "Multiple direct hits," Park reported, excitement breaking through her professional demeanor. "Their shields are calibrated for large-scale energy weapons, not kinetic swarm attacks." But the aliens adapted quickly. Their ships began emitting electromagnetic pulses designed to disable the swarm. That's when Sarah revealed humanity's second surprise. "Initiate quantum resonance," she commanded. The Ragnarok's core pulsed, sending out a signal that transformed the disabled swarm drones into pure energy. The debris field lit up like a new sun as thousands of pieces underwent quantum conversion simultaneously. The alien fleet's shields, designed to deflect physical attacks, offered no protection against this fundamental transformation of matter. 3 enemy vessels were completely disabled, their systems overwhelmed by the quantum cascade. "They're retreating to regroup," Park announced. "Wait," detecting massive energy spike from their flagship. The alien response came in the form of a weapon that bent space itself, creating a gravity well that began pulling everything toward it, including the Ragnarok. But Sarah had anticipated this too. "Release the anchors," she ordered. Across the debris field, specially modified pieces activated, generating counter-gravitational fields. The alien weapon found itself caught in a complex web of opposing forces, its effect neutralized by humanity's transformed space junk. The battle ended as suddenly as it began. The alien fleet jumped to light speed, leaving behind their disabled ships and a message: "First test completed. The true battle approaches." As Earth celebrated its first victory, Sarah studied the quantum scanner's readings from the battle. The alien ship's technology was centuries ahead of humanity's, but they'd been defeated by their own assumptions. They'd expected a primitive species fighting with conventional weapons, not one that could turn its greatest weakness into an unprecedented defense system. But Sarah knew this was just the beginning. The retreating fleet would return with new tactics, new weapons. Humanity needed more than clever tricks and converted debris. They needed a full-scale war fleet, and they had to build it before the aliens returned. Looking at the disabled alien vessels, now being towed to the molecular forge, Sarah allowed herself a small smile. The enemy had just provided exactly the advanced technology they needed to accelerate their plans. "Send word to all Earth defense stations," she ordered. "Operation Phoenix is now entering Phase 2. Rising Fleet." Earth's orbital space transformed into a hive of activity. Dozens of molecular forges worked continuously, converting debris into warships while incorporating salvaged alien technology. The disabled enemy vessels proved to be a treasure trove of advanced systems, but it was humanity's unique approach to adapting these technologies that made their new fleet extraordinary. "The quantum resonance patterns are stable," Dr. Chen reported, monitoring the construction of their newest vessel. "We've successfully merged the alien gravimetric drives with our metamaterial hulls. The result is something entirely new." Sarah watched through the Ragnarok's viewport as the ship took shape. Unlike the rigid designs of their enemies, Earth's vessels looked almost organic, their hulls flowing and shifting like schools of fish. Each ship was built to evolve during combat, learning and adapting to enemy tactics in real time. Fleet Admiral Reeves. Her new title still felt strange. The Security Council is requesting an update on Project Hydra. The mention of Hydra made Sarah tense. It was their most ambitious and controversial project, a plan to convert the entire debris field into a single interconnected defense system. Some called it humanity's greatest achievement. Others warned it could be their final mistake. "Show them the latest test results," she ordered. The quantum display lit up with data from their most recent trials. The transformed debris field could now act as a single organism, responding to threats faster than any traditional fleet. But more importantly, it could think. The artificial intelligence they'd developed wasn't like anything created before. It had emerged naturally from the quantum interactions between the evolved debris pieces, a consciousness born from humanity's discarded dreams of space exploration. 6 months, Sarah announced to her command staff. That's how long our long-range sensors suggest we have before they return. This time, they'll come with everything they have. The construction effort intensified. Traditional shipyards were converted to produce specialized components. Every piece of debris, down to the smallest fragment, was collected and reformed. Earth's nations, finally truly united, poured their resources into the project. But the real breakthrough came from an unexpected source. A team of marine biologists noticed that their new ship's behavior mimicked deep-sea creatures. This observation led to a complete redesign of their combat doctrine. Instead of trying to match the aliens' superior firepower, they would fight like Earth's ocean predators. Adaptable, cooperative, and ruthlessly efficient. The new fleet took shape around this concept. Smaller ships were designed to swarm like schools of fish. Larger vessels could change their form like cephalopods, and the entire fleet could communicate through quantum entanglement like a vast neural network. "Admiral," Lieutenant Park interrupted her thoughts. "We're detecting anomalies at the edge of the solar system." "They're back." Sarah studied the tactical display. The enemy fleet was massive. Hundreds of ships, including models they'd never seen before. But this time, Earth wasn't defenseless. This time, they were ready. "All ships, battle stations," she ordered. "Initiate Hydra protocols." Around Earth, the debris field shimmered as thousands of transformed components activated simultaneously. Humanity's greatest shame had become its ultimate defense. The real test of Project Phoenix was about to begin. "Let's show them," Sarah said, her voice carrying to every ship in the fleet, "what humanity can do with a second chance." Turning the tide. The alien armada emerged from light speed in a display of overwhelming force. Their ships blackened the stars, each vessel bristling with weapons designed to counter Earth's previous tactics. But they weren't facing the same enemy they'd encountered before. Hydra consciousness online. The AI's voice resonated through the quantum network. "All systems integrated. The fleet is ready. Admiral." Sarah stood on the Ragnarok's bridge, watching as Earth's transformed fleet moved into position. The ships flowed through space like liquid mercury, their evolved debris hulls shifting and reforming. Each vessel was connected to every other through quantum entanglement, allowing them to act with perfect synchronization. "They're broadcasting," Lieutenant Park announced. "System-wide." The alien commander's message was clear: surrender or be eradicated. Their scans had detected Earth's defensive preparations, but they remained confident in their technological superiority. What they couldn't scan, however, was humanity's greatest weapon. Desperation turned to innovation. "Launch Operation Poseidon," Sarah commanded. The battle began not with an exchange of fire, but with a dance. Earth's ships moved in patterns that seemed chaotic at first, but followed deep mathematical principles derived from ocean currents. The alien fleet's targeting systems, designed to predict linear combat tactics, couldn't lock onto the fluid movements. "First wave, engage," Sarah ordered. Smaller vessels, converted from satellite fragments, swarmed forward like schools of predatory fish. They didn't fire conventional weapons. Instead, they utilized their quantum-evolved hulls to absorb and redirect the enemy's own energy weapons. Each hit on Earth's ships made them stronger, their metamaterials learning and adapting. The alien fleet's formation broke as they tried to counter this unprecedented strategy. That's when Sarah revealed humanity's masterstroke. Initiate Hydra transformation. The entire debris field, every piece that hadn't been converted into ships, began to move. Millions of fragments, all quantum entangled, flowing together like a vast cosmic organism. The Hydra Eye coordinated their movement, creating a living web that enveloped the alien fleet. Their ships are trapped in the quantum matrix, Dr. Chen reported. The debris field is rewriting their gravimetric drives at the molecular level. The alien vessels, caught in Hydra's web, found their own technology turning against them. The quantum resonance that powered their ships was being redirected, transformed by the very space junk they dismissed as irrelevant. But the enemy commander had one final card to play. Their flagship launched a weapon designed to create an artificial black hole, intending to destroy both fleets rather than accept defeat. Sarah had anticipated this too. Execute Lazarus Protocol. The entire debris field, every ship in Earth's fleet, and even the modified alien vessels synchronized their quantum cores. The energy release transformed the very fabric of space around them. The artificial black hole collapsed in on itself, its power absorbed and redistributed through the quantum network. The battle ended not with destruction, but with transformation. The alien fleet, their technology now irreversibly merged with Earth's quantum-evolved systems, had no choice but to stand down. Your species, the alien commander transmitted, has succeeded where all others failed. You didn't just survive our test. You transcended it. The truth emerged in the aftermath. The hostile aliens had been testing emerging civilizations for millennia, searching for one that could transform warfare itself. Humanity, by turning its greatest weakness into unprecedented strength, had proven itself ready to join a greater galactic community. Sarah stood at the same viewport where she'd first discovered the debris field's evolution. Earth's fleet hung in space, no longer just converted junk, but a testament to human ingenuity. They had done more than survive. They had shown the galaxy that humanity's greatest strength was its ability to rise from its own mistakes, stronger and wiser. Send word to Earth, she ordered. Project Phoenix is complete, and our real journey is just beginning. This concludes the story. Would you like me to provide you with SEO-optimized titles and descriptions for your YouTube video?